Hey y'all, what's going on? I am back again with my recap and review for The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 6, Tequila Tears Tequila Tears, Texas. Hi, I need to apologize because I'm a little tardy. This live was supposed to start about 5-6 minutes ago, but I did the dumbest thing ever, and I thought, or I'm not even gonna say I thought, y'all know I got the green screen. I had this green sweater on, and y'all could probably understand. Y'all could probably understand what happened. So I had to change my sweater because I wasn't showing up, and I couldn't be up here looking like a floating head. So that would be kind of weird, right? Yeah. So I do apologize for being tardy. Nonetheless, y'all, when you come in the room, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you are commenting for everybody who's going to catch this on the replay. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. I also have a second channel as well that showcases all of my fashion, beauty, lifestyle, and traveling, etc., content. So make sure you check the description box below. And as you can see now, my socials are scrolling along the bottom of the screen. So make sure you're following me on there. And I think that is all. Did I forget anything? No, I don't think so. Nonetheless, y'all, let's get into this recap and review, because directly following this live, I will be on here with my good sis, California Cutie. We're going to be doing our coastal critiques panel for this most recent episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I got a lot to say about that. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this because y'all know I can kind of get long-winded sometimes. So yes. Hey, Auntie Bernice, thank you for popping on through for this impromptu live, ready to take the Ice Queen of down. And you know we're going to get into it. You know, every week we get into it. And I know how you feel about the evil Ice Queen, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say about last night's episode. Actually, oh my god, I didn't even text my best friend back because she watched the episode and she had a lot to say about it too. So, and they was talking about it on Twitter. It was a lot going on. So let me knock this out first, and then we're gonna go into that afterwards. So we're still in Austin. It is still day one. Yeah, it's still day one. And we pick right up with Wendy and how they're still in the cabana. And she was saying how Lebe is her sister's friend. And I'm like, at this point, y'all, and I've said it before, why are we showing so much attention to this person who is not even on the show? Why? Can somebody please let me know why we are so fixated on this person who's not on the show? And furthermore, and I think I said it last week, my sisters, I don't know all their friends. They don't know all my friends. And on the contrary, there are some friends that they have that I know very well, and vice versa. My best friend and my stepsister be together all the time. Granted, I do live in California and all my family is still back in New Jersey. So I'm not there anyway. But again, different strokes for different folks. Every relationship dynamic, every friendship dynamic is different. And at the same time, my perfect example, again, my best friend had a baby shower. My entire family was pretty much there. My entire family. Mom, aunts, sisters, stepsisters, everybody was there. My dad didn't show up. He was supposed to, but he had to work late, so it was annoying. It's just different dynamics. So can we stop trying to figure out who knows who or who doesn't know who? Because at the end of the day, I think we could all deduce by this point, these women have at least some familiarity with each other in knowing that each other existed. Like, they knew of each other. It may not have been an in-depth relationship, but they knew of each other. We could say that. So I don't know. I'm still like, it's like nails on a chalkboard sometimes with this show, for real, y'all. I mean, at the same time, it was a fair question for Aneka to be like, okay, well, why were you announcing her at your sip and see then? I can understand how somebody might have that question. I can also understand how Wendy doesn't know her age, because again, that's my sister's friend. So whatever, moving on. Of course, Giselle had to chime in confused, which I also found kind of weird, because it's like, you don't have nothing to say about your own stuff, but when we're talking about somebody else and what's going on and the drama surrounding somebody else on this cast, you have something to say. Like, I don't think that's cool at all. So Ashley, also in her confessional, she was kind of baffled, and she's like, I also don't understand how she's saying she doesn't know Lebe like that when she gave her a gele at the sip and see. And I was like, I mean, I do understand that those are reserved usually for people that are close to the family and, close friends and stuff like that. So I understand the confusion, but I'm like, can we, again, stop harping on this, because nothing is going to be substantiated in the end. And again, I just don't trust this entire thing. And Wendy, then I got to divert my freaking focus over here at you, because I don't understand why you needed to ask her, were you there or were you smoking crack in LA? Like, I don't understand what that had to do with anything. And at the same time, if we're keeping things 100 and fair and just on both sides, like, that was unwarranted as well, like, and hella random, if you ask me. Like, you're not really helping your case when you throw things out there like that. Y'all let me know how you feel about that. Hey, Janet, happy holidays to you too. Gosh, December is rolling by, y'all, like, for real. And Nneka admitted that she know Wendy, but she wasn't close to Wendy. She is so filled with the pick-me spirit. She is being used by my precious and the GEB to bring Wendy down. And I couldn't agree more. That's literally what is translating. And it's really, really disheartening, especially seeing in the blogs and stuff. Like, now we are pinning these two Nigerian women against each, not us pinning, not us, but the us that's over there. They are pinning these two women against each other, and Nneka's fallen right for it. And it's very much giving pick me. It's very much giving, I wanted to be on the show by hook or crook, and here I am, and I don't really care about how our community is looking. You said Wendy can't read like Kenya. She needs to stop. Yeah, because it's just like, it makes us be like, you're not helping your case. You're looking kind of weird. Like, how does that fit into how all of these things are transpiring? It's not landing. The one-liners are trying to have a moment is just not really landing, and it hasn't been since she was doing all that extra stuff down at the pickleball game and stuff like that. Like, just, she needs to chill out, because it's not helping her case. Mia cannot dance nor twerk, so I'm really still kind of confused on how she used to be serving lobster in ball gowns and stuff like that down at the strip club. Like, I would think that you would know how to drop it low just a little bit, just a smidge, but maybe I'm just requesting too much. I don't know. And Karen, of course, she is the median person in all of this. So she says, I don't need to see two beautiful Nigerian women going at it like that. And I think that that's something that we could all agree with, that this was not necessary for this show right now. This is actually what we don't want to see. Candace, I get you wanting to like check on Aneka and stuff, and I guess you're not trying to add fuel to the fire. Like you're just trying to, check on her or whatever. She's new to the group. Da 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 da. I don't think that it was bad on Wendy to then turn to you and be like, "Hey, that's fine and all. Y'all can talk or whatever. Just like don't discuss me and that whole thing." Like I don't think that was too much to ask. Y'all let me know if you agree or disagree with that. Moving on, everyone is now getting ready for dinner, and it looked like Ashley was making some TikToks. Who knows? Y'all know how Ashley loves a TikTok. Wendy's got she's getting ready. She looked bomb as usual. And then so y'all know there's been 2 SUVs pretty much. The group is obviously completely split. We already knew that. So in one car, it was Giselle, Karen, Aneka, and Ashley. And in that car, of course, they're going on about the craziness of the day. And Aneka is further stating her claim and her piece. And she got her booty on her back because of Wendy's, again, the crack comment. So, and of course, they're just all just eating it right up and falling into it, all being, of course, Giselle. Of course, we know Giselle is going to be all over that. We know. So again, I was like, can we just pan over to the other car? I don't even care. I don't even care about any of what y'all are saying because I'm not buying it. I really just don't care. And Giselle, I caught that when you said that she should apologize for that. How are you coming out your face right now and saying that anybody should apologize for anything when you are the number one person on this cast that never owns up to what they say or what they do, and you just be saying any old thing about everybody and their husbands? Like, how can you tell somebody that they need to apologize for anything? You never apologize for anything, ever. Y'all let me know if we've ever received an apology from Giselle. Y'all hear the crickets? Because I do. Anyway, I can't. And Aneka's whole thing is she just wants her to acknowledge it. And I'm like, okay, but then turning this way, how can Wendy acknowledge something that from her point of view, she obviously doesn't agree with what is being said. So at this point, y'all could have just spoke one-on-one from the get-go. If it was really something for real and that serious, y'all could have spoke one-on-one from the get-go before you tried to mosey on in this group. And it could have been squashed from there if that's all you wanted. But no, you're trying to make a moment because you keep dragging this whole thing out. Whatever. And meanwhile, in the other car, Wendy says there's nothing to salvage. And I can also understand that too, because again, these women knew of each other. It wasn't like there was already a friendship there formed. So at the end of the day, there's nothing to talk about, if you ask me. My precious can look at all the seasons of Soul Train and American Bandstand, still can't. Like, it was just weird. Like, girl, like, I don't know. I love to dance, so that's not an issue I have. But I'm like, you really came on here talking about you used to work down at the club, but the rhythm was not rhythming whatsoever, honey. It was not. It was not. So anyway, in the restaurant, of course, they start ordering everything on the menu. Giselle loves to eat every appetizer that's on the menu. They order a couple reposado pitchers, and we're going to get into it. We're going to see what occurs in this freaking moment, because of course, as everybody, you already know something is going to be brought up, something's going to be said, something's going to be done, whatever. Karen, she immediately says that she's too tired to chew. And of course, Robin is always going to take a moment to freaking make Karen look crazy or weird or whatever. So she's like, so you just like want to swallow the food? And from there, y'all, we get into sexy talk, and I honestly don't care about any of these women's sex lives. I really don't at all, but whatever. That's seemingly the only time they could get along just even a little bit is when they have these types of conversations. So I'm gonna be a good sport. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna see what it's giving. on the specific subject of who and who does not swallow, I'm going to sit here and by no means am I slut shaming, so y'all please don't take me wrong. Robin, I believe that 100%. You didn't even need to tell me that. That's the type of energy you give me. Not surprised. And also, at the same time, I'm still looking at you crazy because couldn't be me, couldn't be my mouth, couldn't be my throat, couldn't be my nothing. Juan couldn't get nothing out of me. But again, she's also a pick-me as it pertains to Juan. So of course you're guzzling and gurgling and slurping and doing everything and slobbing on all the knobs and, you know, taking in all that sustenance. So that's fine. Y'all stay over there in the Dixon household and you do that. That's cool. That's great. Whatever. Sidebar. Auntie Bernice, y'all, freaking Janet, did y'all catch Mia and Wendy down at the table, like interlocking pinkies, holding hands or whatever? This is when then I have to go back over here like I've been doing and looking at freaking Wendy like, girl, what are you doing? Why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep trying to, that lady is not your friend. Why, y'all holding hands? Last season, I don't know, maybe do I have amnesia, y'all? Because last season, I definitely remember, if I'm not mistaken, Mia was the same person that slung a drink and attempted to freaking wet you down. And she also tried to perpetuate like these rumors about you and Peter and all this other stuff. So really, why are y'all pinkied up? My butler's talking about swallowing didn't get. It was just like, and she just be so proud when she says things like this. And I'm like, you know we about to drag you, right? You know we about to. Okay, just so you know, we about to drag you because you sound ridiculous talking about guzzling down this man's kids when everything surrounding him and y'all's union is literally behind you up in flames. I'm not weird. Yes. I definitely agree. And she actually said a comment in this episode that really pissed me off. So we're going to definitely get into that. And I'm sure you guys probably can deduce what I'm going to say. But anyway, then we get into this whole eating the booty like groceries and stuff. And I was like, that's another thing that I'm like, I don't even want to know I don't even want to know y'all like that because just ew, just absolutely gross. Mind you, the waiter was still there too when they were talking about all this. I'm like, he was probably like, he got the strongest poker face ever, if you ask me. Because I would be like, especially if I watched the show, you would definitely catch me. If I was the waiter, I would definitely lying. She's lying. That's all you would see me saying, especially as it pertains to Giselle, because I still don't believe that is really your dude, Jason. I don't believe that y'all really had a relationship like that. So whatever. And of course, Karen is the freaking comedy relief for us as usual. Candace would rather be peed on. Also, don't know why we're talking about this. I hope you weren't serious. Like, for real, I really don't. And then Wendy said something about men don't drink water. And I was like, okay, see, that's why I got to go off the bus, because I was like, yeah, whose man? Your man? Because my man be drinking water. So I don't know. Y'all, you need to make sure Eddie's drinking his water, because that should not be the case. We is too grown for that. Like, I always got to look at people weird when they say they don't drink water. Like, we're way too. Anywho, I'm so annoying. And Another pick me comment that came from Aneka that I picked up on is when she was like, I'm so grateful y'all called me at like the perfect time. I was so down. Da 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 da. And I'm just like, no, you're just it was not about you being down. You could have been having the best day ever and you would have still been just as glad that they called you because you want to be seen, you want to be amongst these other ladies. And again, that's fine, y'all. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If Bravo freaking sends me an email right now, I'd be the same way. Like, let's go. Let's go. Where we at? Like, where we at with it? I'm down. So it's nothing wrong with these ladies coming on here and wanting to be on here. I don't feel like that there's anything wrong with that. But it's all about how you do it. It's all about how you play it. And Aneka, I don't like how she came busting through the door. I don't. I really don't. And I don't feel like I'm alone in saying that. If you don't drink water, you are not flushing your kidneys and your urine smells loud and it's very dark. And yeah, that's all very true. So I'm gonna need them to get a handle on that because especially with her being, obviously she's not a medical doctor, so that's not what I mean, but just being a super educated woman, I would like to think that she would know that we need to do better. Because that ain't it. That ain't it, sis. Meanwhile, we journey back to the hotel where the entire group visits Robin's penthouse. And I wanted to emphasize that the entire group went up there because, first of all, Robin threw the invitation out there. But of course, we would think that, I don't know, like Wendy and Candace specifically probably would have, bypassed that, but they didn't. So everybody files on through and, it looks really nice, of course, because again, Robin's going through just so much in life that Ashley just had to give her the other penthouse. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It was all self-induced, so I wouldn't have felt bad, and she would have been in a cubicle if you would have left it up to me. But it's not my party. I'm just saying. Candace. Oh, y'all, I cannot even lie. I was in here hollering when they kept panning over to Candace's feet in them slippers, because of course we know they all got on heels and stuff, but we want to take our heels off. It's in the night, like our feet hurt, like we ain't got time for that. And Candace is all like, you got some slippers or whatever? It's like, yeah, over there. And by no means am I foot shaming anybody, because I got some feet on me too, very, very much so. I don't got no little feet or nothing, but I was like, just the ratio of Candace's foot in those sides, was those wand sides? Like, okay, let me stop. But it was just the way production kept panning over there, and Robin was in her confessional like, I'm just really kind of confused. You're in my room 1 minute freaking asking me to wear my slippers and everything's cool. But just 1 week ago, you were the same person that was like bashing me online. And honestly, clearly I'm not a super big Robin fan. I'm not a Robin fan at all. So I can't even lie, y'all. I probably would have been the same way. Like, girl, you just said last week that you were just verbally kicking my back in online last week, and then now we're here and you're whatever. We just gonna let bygones be bygones. And then so Wendy leaves, and at that point it was only Robin, Aneka, and Candace. And after they shared a few laughs or whatever, Candace chucks up the deuces too. But before she rolls out, she's like, hey, tomorrow I would like to talk to you or whatever. And Robin's like, okay. So we know that we're going to get a conversation between them. And I'm not really surprised at this point by now, because Candace has kind of just alluded at the fact that door is not completely closed. She used to see Robin as like a big sister. Like, that is someone that she really used to see as a friend. So of course, I was not surprised that she would try to extend an olive branch, if you will. Aneka came in as a fan and she wants Wendy's spot, period. Yeah. And it's just like, maybe I'm so irritated by it, y'all, because I am so much of a girl's girl. Like, for real. I am so much of a girl's girl. And if there's anything I can say about myself with full confidence and no shame at all, and it's not me trying to be braggadocious or anything like that, it's the fact that I know I'm a damn good friend. I know that I am not somebody who doesn't want to see others succeed. I'm somebody that celebrates people and their accomplishments. I'm somebody who sees it as though there's room for all of us at the table when it comes to our successes and stuff like that. There's room for everybody to go after what they want and to occupy spaces that they want to be in. And sometimes that means to the left and right of me, and that's perfectly fine. I don't believe in gatekeeping, anything like that. So for me, it's really disheartening to see women that look like me going at it like this. I don't like it. It's not cool to see, especially coming off the cuff of what we've seen in seasons prior on the show. It makes me like, ugh. Hey, cousin, how are you doing today? Robin Lurch really doesn't have a beef with Candace because she is piggybacking off of Giselle. Yeah, and honestly, I'm trying not to hold them, how do I say? For certain stuff, yes, they're always going to be held simultaneously accountable. But at the same time, I try not to be like that with them, because a lot of times Giselle is the main force behind a lot of stuff, and Robin's kind of like collateral damage, if you will. And then there's other times where no, they're both at it, just one and the same. And then there's also been times where, like right now, we're seeing Robin looking crazy, and we can't really say anything about Giselle at the same time. So I'm trying to really keep them two separate. And I also say that because a lot of times, like we see in this scene and other little, tidbits and stuff like that, we do see that when Giselle is not amongst the other ladies and stuff like that, sometimes, and y'all could disagree, that's perfectly fine. But I will say that sometimes I see them come together when Giselle's not present, and we can kind of get by, and it's a lot less tension. That's just how I see it, though. Aneka is paying bots to attack people and say good things about. Yes, you did say that, and I think that's that must be the people that try to come at my neck. Because y'all, if there's one thing about me, I don't do all the extra stuff online or whatever. I say my piece up here, and it is what it is. Like, I don't really care I don't really be trying to follow and do all this extra stuff, which is fine. But I had time the other night, and I don't remember who posted it. Maybe it was TV. Was it TVDs? I don't know. But yeah, I had a little time, and somebody decided to think that they was about to come up my neck about what I said, because I don't want to get into that part yet because I'm fast forwarding here. But just know that I had time, and there was so many people in the chat that were just really just so against Wendy, and I just didn't understand it. And that's not me saying like everybody needs to corral around Wendy and like she could do no wrong and like, no, I'm not saying that at all. But if y'all don't see what's really transpiring in front of us by now, I ain't got nothing for you. Hey, Just Simply, how are you doing? I stopped watching RHOP a week ago, and I haven't tweeted about the show since the premiere episode. I don't blame you, because it's really bad. And honestly, while we're talking about it, I thought it was mighty funny that I feel like last week, especially, a lot of us like emphasized that it's just really not been fun to watch. It's, not making us want to review it, and it's just tacky as hell. And what I found to be really funny is that then this week I see that it was the season low in viewers. Isn't that, I don't know, isn't that a little coincidental? Interesting. Anyway, y'all, let me push through this because I've just been running my trap. And like I said, y'all know what I got to do right after this. So again, it's day 2 now. Everyone's waking up. Aneka is whining to Ike about being called a crackhead by Wendy. Again, I don't care. Ashley has a breakfast spread in her room. And so everybody is going in there. Giselle and Robin, they arrive first. Giselle, we all know Giselle is nosy AF, so of course she has to make mention of Robin and how everyone was left in her room and everything, and Wendy and Candace were there and everything, and those are the people that have been trashing her. So of course she needed to pinpoint that because she's always being messy. That's Giselle. And so once all the rest of the ladies arrive, Ashley tells them what's up, what they're doing, and the activity is going to be them trying to reconnect with their femininity. And in doing so, Ashley wants them to paint their vaginas or what they see it as. It doesn't need to be literal. It could be figurative. And, if you see it as like a rose or, whatever, because Karen's like, oh no. But we know Karen was like, oh no, that ain't happening. I'm good. But we don't even see them do that because honestly, and I freaking really enjoy Karen. She's actually my favorite person on this show. But I can't sit here and lie to you and say at this point it was giving like, okay, Karen, you do keep bringing up Robin, like you do keep wanting to talk about her and this whole thing and stuff. Like you do kind of keep singling her out at this point because we're not even on nothing right now. We trying to paint vaginas and you want to talk about Robin. Like I could have did without that. I honestly wanted to see them paint the that sounds weird. I don't mean that in a weird way, but I want to see them paint vaginas. Like, damn. Anyway, but we can't do that because now we need to talk about Robin and how she is the person that's been dividing the group because she only tells this half of the group what's really going on in her life. So, what's really going on? We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. That's what Karen said, basically. And I'm summarizing. So of course, Robin, she's like, yeah, I mean, I do only really F with these people over here. So yeah, of course I'm gonna talk to them about that. And again, why would I go on to tell anybody anything that I haven't even told my own mom? Like, are you kidding? I don't get it. And she's also like, I speak to those that reach out to me and check on me, number one. So Candace is like, oh, well, if that's the case, then what happened when I texted you? Like, what happened when I texted you? I was left on red pretty much. Like, what's up with that? And Robin, and I can't really fault her for this. She's like, are you serious? Because you was just talking real greasy about me on the blogs and on these posts and these tweets and stuff like that. Like, why would I answer you? I can't really be that mad. The hate Wendy gets is very emphasis on very weird. Other housewives have done emphasis on way worse. I completely agree. Thank you, Anthony. RHP has never experienced bots prior to Aneka joining the show, which is the last thing that we need. There's already so much fragility that surrounds this show that this whole thing is the absolute last thing that we needed to see, y'all. The absolute last thing that we needed to see on the show. Like, last thing this season. She wouldn't have been called a crackhead had she left Wendy alone. I mean, yeah, I can understand that, but I also don't believe that we should, to get your point across and stuff like that, we need to also bring in that type of energy. I don't really think that. And I don't really think that because it leaves the door open for somebody to say something about you, and it takes the emphasis and the focus off of that other person and what they did wrong, because now the people that, like we're saying, that really don't see it for Wendy, that have so much hate and vitriol and just negativity toward her, it leaves the door open for those people to slide on through there and be like, well, she said da 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 da, and obviously, no, we know the truth. And I mean, quite frankly, I don't really care. However, you have to, you got to play the game smart. Unfortunately, you got to play this game smart. And I don't really think that was helpful in this situation, but I mean, it is what it is. It ain't my life. I too would question Roger Bob. Sorry, wait, did you guys see that? Is that new? Is that a new feature? Did you guys see the thumbs up? Wait, I haven't seen that, so sorry. I'm sorry, it just threw me off. That's cool though. I too would question Roger Bob, because that old man is always in somebody's business. She never gets off Karen. She rides her like she's best in show. I think it's derby. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it. Karen is only asking the questions that we want to know. However, in this moment, this is what I'm saying when this show gets to be unlikable to watch, when it's like, we can't even go ahead. Like, for instance, on Salt Lake City last night, they was jet skiing and stuff, and they had some genuine scenes where we actually saw them all come together and have a good time, and then not always be a mess. Like, I get it. There's always going to be mess, at least to some degree, on these shows. It's reality TV, goddamn. Like, of course it's going to be like that to a degree, but it's like, we can't have any redeeming moments on this show, because it's always just, we got to be constantly reminded of somebody's BS every single time, and it's just annoying. Didn't Robin pull out a speaker? Yes, she did. Crap, I had a freaking graphic about that too, because I was like, yeah, let us oh, actually it's right here. Yeah, yes, you're 100% right, Auntie Bernice. This is the same person that did that. So again, I understand why Candace said and feels the way she does toward Robin. I completely understand that. However, at the same time, I can't sit here and then not understand why Robin probably doesn't want to then have a conversation or isn't receptive to Candace's advances and stuff like that, because she don't like what she said. And it's not me agreeing with either side or saying that this was cool and this was not. And no, that's not at all what I'm saying. Because honestly, if I was Candace, once again, I wouldn't be trying to salvage any relationships or any friendships with anybody up here, over there, on that side over there, if you would leave it up to me. But yes, you are 100% right, Auntie Bernice. Meanwhile, last season, yeah, wait, this right here, yeah, yeah. Let us not forget. Hey, Denise, thank you so much for coming through and supporting. I really, really appreciate it. At this point, I want Wendy to let loose one, because the people is already there. Yeah, and that's another thing. We got to draw the line. Like, are we really sitting here talking about unaliving people? Like, that's when it gets too serious. When people are receiving threats and, on their lives, like, are we serious? Is this really what this is coming to? That's not enjoyable to watch. We're not going to want to be supporting something that, now people have to be in fear of their lives. That's not even cool. Hey, sis, how are you today? Oh crap, I'm like doing so bad on time, y'all, because I've just been running my trap. Crap. Where we at now? So yeah, meanwhile, we don't get to paint vaginas because Robin, she feels as though she's being attacked, and in true Robin fashion, she jumps up being all extra, trying to just feel like she's the victim and everything. And I'm like, well, honestly, we didn't even need to get to this point if you would have just came out and not try to put things behind a paywall. And Giselle, pump your brakes, talking about some, oh, you could have just paid the $5.99. No, we shouldn't have to pay. We pay our freaking cable bills and our freaking streaming service bills and stuff like that to see the stuff happen on this show right here, while everybody else is putting their stuff on this show right here. It should have been no different. We shouldn't have to go to a whole other platform and try to extract a story out of you when it should have been playing out on the big screen during the season. That's not double standards. Double standards. And Karen with that bonnet, her confessional, TV gold, TV freaking gold. So Ashley's like, okay, well, we couldn't do that. So yeah, let's go on to do the next activities. And it's either you're going to go to like this cowboy boot shop, or you're going to go to a distillery. So they all pick out the hats and stuff, and we ready, break, and everybody goes to go get ready. Before we head off, though, Karen does take a moment to talk to her event planner. We know that she's been working closely with the PAVE institution for quite a while now. And we know that she is a SA survivor, and she's going to be having an upcoming event that I'm assuming we'll see sometime on the show. She speaks a little bit about that, which I think is awesome. And again, these are the reasons why I see it for Karen. This is the reasons why I enjoy the Grand Dame. So everybody goes upstairs. They're looking real Western-ish. Wendy was eating everybody up, though. If you ask me, I loved her entire outfit, from the bob to the boots to the all. I just chef's kiss, love it. So they have them go. The ones that are going to the distillery hop in one SUV. Everybody else hops in the other SUV, and they're off. So Ashley, Giselle, Robin, and Aneka, they're in one car, and Ashley asks Robin if she's okay, and she's just like, it's all nonsense. And I'm like, is it really though? And you can't really come here with a straight face and act like you didn't see this coming into the season. You should have known that feet were already going to be on your neck from the get-go. Like, you should have already knew that. Come on now. And meanwhile, Karen's like, I guess I got all that and that she's gonna give at this moment. So I guess we're gonna let sleeping dogs lie for the moment, and we're gonna keep that slice of the pie or whatever in the freezer, whatever that whole analogy was. Candace also says that their situation is complicated, whilst Wendy says she does not care. And honestly, if I was Wendy, nor would I. Not upset about that at all. I wouldn't be pondering and giving anything more mental energy than I need to be honest with you at this point. Anyway, over with the cowboy boot group, Aneka shares that, like I said last week, that she's only been married 1.5 years, and she was so stressed when it came to her traditional wedding and everything, and how everything just did not go as she wanted it to go, because she was still trying to plan things before she moved to DC. She only moved to DC a week prior to the wedding happening. So from the dresses to the venue to everything was just trash in her opinion. But she's hoping that, or this was the not the traditional wedding. This was the freaking American wedding. Her traditional wedding, though, she's hoping that it goes a lot better. Of course, she wants to have it on her father's land. And she's also, the plan was, I guess, to do this after she has kids and stuff like that, or gets pregnant. But she's like, I need to be able to move and stuff in my SUEB, which is crazy that all of us we're even talking about this, because I was up until like 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Like, freaking doing a deep dive, looking at all these like Nigerian weddings on TikTok. So it's kind of crazy that then I saw this episode the next day because I was like, oh my God, like I was just looking at those dresses and stuff. Okay. Anyway, moving right along. So Robin, she also tries to say that she's so glad that Aneka's here and she hopes they haven't scared her away. And, you know, we're just so glad to see you. We're just so glad you're here and you've joined the good side. Like, she's just so happy. And I don't care. I don't have anything to say about that. Back at the distillery, they're, you know, cheersing everything. We know that Mia is not drinking hard alcohol at this time. So when they take the shots and stuff, she sits that one out. And after they conclude that, they go outside. Even though I thought they were also to meet up, which they do wind up meeting up to have like real lunch, they also had like a pre-lunch at the distillery or whatever. So when they go outside, y'all, this is when I get pissed off because freaking there was a bird that like flew past, and we know how Wendy feels about birds. When it kind of a couple seasons ago when Monique had her bird T'Challa, we know how Wendy feels about birds. So when the bird flew past and stuff, Mia thought it was okay to be like, oh, is that your mom? And I was like, oh, you know, Wendy, you know what you should have said? You should have said, wow, I passed a crackhead on the corner last week and I was about to stop a car. I could have swore I thought it was your mom. That's what I would have said if I was her. But instead, Wendy was like, yeah, don't do that. That's not funny. That's not cool. That's what we're not doing. So yeah, no. And I'm not mad at that. And again, y'all, I'm not here to call Wendy a liar or anything like that. But what I will say is I totally understand no one wants to hear anybody saying bad things about their mom, and also understanding the fact that in Catholicism there is shrines, but the way that Aneka is bringing this up is making it seem very, very negative. And she doesn't like that. She doesn't like what she has to say about her mother. She doesn't like how she's trying to paint this narrative. And I couldn't agree more. But at the same time, I don't know. It was still making me feel like, okay, could this be a matter of like, maybe, let's say maybe your mom did say something or whatever. Like, could this be like something where you still just don't like when anybody says anything negative to your mom and stuff like that? Like, I get it. I could understand that too. I hope that's not the case. I hope that this is obviously completely not true and stuff. But I also could see where it's like, well, sometimes we get a little clouded, or sometimes we don't like to always hear that people closest to us do bad things sometimes, or do things that can paint them in a negative light at times. Sometimes that's difficult for us to hear or whatever. Like, we're still going to be super protective of those people, which is, I totally understand that. But I mean, and still, regardless, I don't care to substantiate anything or not, because I still think that is very distasteful, and we should never even been on this subject from the get-go. But anyway, and Wendy gets emotional again because she doesn't play about her mom, and Mia does vow to leave it alone. So Mia, we're going to hold you to that. Back with the other group, they're leaving the boot shop, and like I said, they head to lunch, and they're met by the other ladies. So everybody is back together, and after ordering drinks, Aneka discusses the importance of her traditional wedding and stuff. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely caught the shade when she was like, yeah, Ike is, what is it? He is a titled man, which is similar to a chief. And I believe we learned when Wendy came on the show that her mom is a chief. And so I definitely caught it when Aneka said it's a special title and some people pay for it nowadays. Like, what is that? So, like, what are you implying? Like, I don't like when nobody insults my intelligence. So I probably would have knocked all that shit off the table, to be honest with you guys. I probably would have. So this is why I don't put myself in situations like this, because it can get real bad real fast. Karen and her blue check, honestly, yes. Did she purposely buy it? Maybe, perhaps. Who knows? At the same time, though, I'm not trying to call her senile or anything, y'all, but also I could see perhaps her assistant doing it, or her just not freaking knowing that happened. So whatever, but it was funny. It definitely was funny. Ashley tells them afterward that they're doing chicken-ish bingo, which is a staple in Austin. And apparently, we don't get to see that, but she lets them know that, and she also lets them know about what's going on with the divorce and stuff and the custody. In her perfect world, she would like to see Michael get the kids every other weekend, and she'll have them like throughout the week and stuff like that, because she can't imagine, of course, not seeing her kids for 7+ days at a time or whatever. And I'm like, okay, fair. 1 second, y'all. Let me hold on. Okay. Anyway, so So I think it was Mia that asked what's going on with the lawsuit. She's asking Candace this. We know that Michael freaking Darby is suing Candace, and Candace is like, yeah, see, no, I'm not going to discuss that on here in front of this group. Like, that's not what I'm about to do. And I can completely understand that. I wouldn't do it either. And even if I was not on bad terms with people in the group, I still don't think that it's wise to publicly discuss, legal matters like that. So I didn't see anything wrong with that. But while we're on the subject, kind of like, we can't be that dense. Like, we can do, no, that's not happening. A Title IX violation. How can we not think that everything that was surrounding Juan and all of his personal matters / I'm sure you guys are aware, if you've been watching the show, if you saw the blogs and stuff like that, everything that transpired between Juan and one of the players on the team and stuff. And it was really, really a messed up situation, if you ask me. And I feel like Juan could have did a whole hell of a lot better in that situation, being as though he was the head coach and stuff like that. You have a vested interest, and you have a freaking huge main responsibility in safeguarding the players and their well-being and all of that stuff. And I feel like he failed there. And it was literally like so much surrounding that literally freaking Ray Charles could see that all of that had to have done something in getting him fired. Like, that has to play some part in him getting fired. Like, we're not going to sit here and act crazy like that. Again, I mean, this is just how I feel, y'all. Y'all don't have to agree, whatever. I'm just calling it like how I think I see it. Like, come on now. So again, Robin, of course, is going to windmill for Juan at all times. And like she had said on Watch What Happens Live, and like she said a million times, that ain't had nothing to do with nothing. And, I can't really speak on it, but that had nothing to do with nothing. And of course, she's trying to think that everybody's trying to make things worse, when I'm like, no, I feel like Juan makes Juan's life worse. Juan doesn't have to get into the situations he gets himself into, but he doesn't give a damn about you or anything, apparently. So that's why y'all are in the boat that you're in, but whatever. Candace is confused about Robin's energy toward her. Once they leave the restaurant and stuff, of course, Robin has her booty on her back, and that leaves Candace to be like, you know what? I don't know what's going on with her. I'm gonna let her rock for now, though. and it is what it is. They all get into one van, and the final scene we get is everyone, after they freshen up and everything, back up, and there was like this freaking scene with like Giselle talking to Jason. So it was weird, whatever. And freaking tell me why the last scene we get is them all in the car or whatever, and all of a sudden we see Robin freaking in her crocodile tears talking about some, I'm over it, you don't need to try to tear me down, like just completely like losing it, because everybody brought up what we all as viewers at least have been thinking. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that you're now going to sit here and cry when, again, let me bring up this right here, for instance. There was no tears when somebody else is highlighted for something that's going on in their lives or whatever, or something comes out for them. It's an issue, or it's not an issue. But now when the tables are turned and everybody else is requesting answers and is literally calling it like we see it, to be honest with you, it's a problem. Like, those two things can't exist at the same time. And that's a lot of people's issue with this show, is the double standards and the playing in our faces. I just can't get with that. I can't get with that, y'all. But again, I might have to come back and give you all like a part 2 on my thoughts and stuff like that, because I gotta hop on this other live. So I didn't really get to get into the nitty gritty like I wanted to in this, but let me just read a couple of y'all's comments real quick. And until the next starts, I was drinking champagne every morning while on fertility and vacation. It ain't gonna be no. Yes, I didn't even get to say that either, because she didn't lie when she said she ends her night with freaking bubbly champagne too, because when she was up in Robin's room and stuff, yeah, she definitely was drinking champagne too. So those two things can't exist at once too, if you ask me. Comes off very, she just comes off like we just wouldn't be friends in real life, to be honest. I can read people's energy and stuff and see into their character, and I just don't think that we would mesh. But that's what I mean. She's trying to paint this narrative, and Wendy's not having it. And I can totally understand why she has nothing at this time for her. I wouldn't want to be friends with nobody like that either. It was very funny. Schmiegel's perfect world, because he never wanted to have children as his script. Yeah, now we know. And that's no shade at the kids at all. That's no shade at the kids at all. That's all shade to Schmiegel. My precious. What was it? I can't eat. Y'all, I'm done. It was a Title IX violation. Roger Bob is not smart enough to know what it is and what it means. He violated the Title IX, and they fire you. Yeah. Which, y'all, I was trying to power on through this, so I didn't really explain all that, whatever. So definitely Google it if you don't know. And Wendy was spot on in her freaking rationale of it. And Robin tried to like smart shame her or whatever, like calling her like Miss Smarty Pants or whatever she did. I'm like, no, it doesn't take a rocket science to put two and two together. Any of us can look that up, see what he did over here and put two and two together. Like, stop playing in our faces, bro. Yeah, Juan did report what occurred, but he don't report it to the. Yeah, I don't. Oh well, that's literally how I see it. Juan did the. Yeah, I feel like that whole one could have been handled a lot better, and when it all came out, that really upset me, because that's even beyond the show at that point. Like, that it shouldn't have happened like that, and as a result of negligence, now somebody has experienced a traumatic event that could have not occurred had someone done better. And yes, as my sis said, we're gonna end on this note. This show, yeah, it is nasty work. It can be nasty work, and I don't like where it's going right now. So y'all, I do appreciate y'all being here. Let's keep the conversation going down in the comments below. Let me get off of here. Please make sure you like the video if you have not already. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for keeping this chat going. Y'all said a lot of great things. I wish I could talk more, but I gotta get on over here to the Coastal Critiques panel. So hopefully I see you guys over there in 2.2 seconds. All right. Love y'all. Bye.